Friday Nugget. Today I'm welcoming Dan Tynan, and Dan Tynan is a journalist. He was former editor-in-chief at Yahoo Tech. He's published more than 100 publications, and publications like Wired and The Guardian and CIO Magazine. Welcome to the show. Maybe you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Dan?
Hi, TJ. Lovely to be here. Yeah, so I've been covering technology for a very long time. I like to joke about, the first things I covered were dot matrix printers. That tells you how old I am. But usually what I do is I write about emerging technology. Yeah, and the technology that is emerging most, hardest, and the fastest these days is AI. And so almost everything I write about now has something to do with artificial intelligence.
Right. I mean, you can't look at a news article today and not have something where there are concerns about it, or that it's changing the face of different industries.
You can't look at a news article without wondering, was this written by AI?
True. And today in particular, we wanted to focus on generative AI, also known as Gen AI. And you run a blog, and that blog is called...
I call it Cranky Old Man Yells at Internet, based on the Simpsons cartoon about Cranky Old Man Yells at Clouds. Right, so I look at AI and I try and explain it for a normal audience, right? The people who aren't enmeshed in technology, but need to know this stuff. And I try to do it in an entertaining and somewhat sarcastic way.
Generative AI, I had a chance to read through some of your articles. They are hilarious and also informative, and then sometimes peeking out a little bit scary. Yeah. And there were some tools that you introduced me to, like Midjourney. Like what you're able to produce from it is absolutely crazy and mind-blowing. What has your experience been with that?
It's funny, yeah. I started out, looking at this stuff a little, last November, really. Things started to really emerge because a company called OpenAI introduced ChatGPT to the world. And it worked, like a lot of chatbots do, is you type in a question, it gives you an answer. Only in this case, the answers it produced were kind of mind-blowing. Right, so it was this amazing thing that emerged, and one of the things that came out of it was an image generation engine called DALL-E. And DALL-E was the same as ChatGPT, except that when you typed in a request, it produced a picture. And then all of a sudden, all these other image generators came out, and one of them was Midjourney, which is my current favorite. It makes DALL-E look like a cartoon painting versus the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I asked Midjourney to do a picture of Robin Williams wearing clown makeup, and the picture that was produced was so photorealistic that, you would have thought that it was something that was taken before he passed away. And then this opens up the question to a lot of things like people's image and whether or not you can use them, and it just opens up a whole can of worms as far as those types of things.
Oh yeah, an ocean full of worms. There's so many things. We can certainly go into that. But there's lots of issues around things like copyright, around plagiarism. These tools are being sued by artists because in order to train a tool like Midjourney or DALL-E, you have to train them on something, right? So you train them on existing art.
Right.
You train them on work that human beings have done. And so now those human beings that did this work are coming back and saying, hey, what's in it for me? You couldn't have this without my work. I deserve something in return. If you're going to be an organization that's planning to monetize these things, or at least use them instead of paying a human artist, that brings in a whole other element. And this is a wide open question that we haven't even figured out yet.
It's amazing to think about what these tools are going to be capable of in 5 years.
Not even 5 years, honestly. A lot of them are capable of short snippets of very convincing video right now. I did actually a little sort of movie post where I just posted a bunch of AI movies. And
I did read that article of yours too, where one of them was a guy making movie trailers in the style of Wes Anderson, right? And there was a Star Wars remake in the style of Wes Anderson and others. And when Mark was on, we were talking about the uncanny valley. Like when it comes to photography, human images from photography have crossed the uncanny valley.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Okay, well, that's all amazing, and I could see where that's going to open up the door for us next week with where the potential risks and dark sides are of this technology. Yeah. Thanks for coming, and we'll look forward to discussing this greater. I'm looking forward to it.
TJ, it was a pleasure.
We're going to pick up next week and discuss the dark side of Gen AI. Next week, Friday Nugget.